This may or may not work very well, I don't know. Let's see. Alright, today as all days I'll drive this car according to the system of car control, which is a system or drill, each feature of which is to be considered by me the driver at the approach to any hazard. To do this requires my utmost concentration, which is the full application of mind and body to a particular endeavour, to the complete exclusion of everything not relevant to that endeavour. My endeavour today is to drive this car safely, smoothly, progressively and well. I shall formulate my driving plan on three things: what I can see, what I cannot see, and the circumstances I can reasonably expect to develop. By driving according to the system of car control, the car will at all times be travelling in the right place on the road at the right speed with the right gear engaged. As it is today, we're leaving the town of Kilbirnie in North Ayrshire, heading along towards Loch Winnock. It's a single carriageway national speed limit road. The road surface is of tar macadam. It's in reasonably good repair, but it has been raining overnight. The road surface is still damp, so it's not optimal for braking, steering and tyre adhesion. We have an HGV and a private car ahead of us at the moment. Double line system coming into effect just before this bend with shell grip on the road surface. As we come down here now, we're trying to extend our observations forward. We can see in the far distance the hills and the horizon. In the middle distance we can see agricultural land. In the nearer foreground we've got some farm buildings off to the right. We're searching in there, we're checking out any entrances for possible animals or agricultural vehicles ending or leaving. Looking across the double bend sign by the warning sign, first to the left, second to the right, we can already see the chevron for the second bend to the right. We're looking at the speed the HGV's taking the bend. He's on the brakes now and so's the car in front, so we can anticipate it's a fairly severe bend. The road surface is still slightly damp but shell grip road surface. Checking out the opening on the left, it's checked and clear, and as we come down here there's some cones on the right. There's been some road work activity in the area. There could be further road works if we progress further along this road. As we come along here, the centre line markings are hazard lines. That's long dashes with short gaps in between. The road engineer is trying to tell us that there are some sort of dashes or some hazard inherent in the road layout itself. I'm picking up the mouth of a junction just ahead on the right. We're searching down into the right hand side, looking down that road. We can see there's nothing approaching there. There's a double line system in a hatched area. There's a refuge for right turning traffic. The openings on the left are checked and clear, and as we come up this hill ahead of us now, we can see the other vehicles in front. We're just going to firm up slightly on acceleration here, tramlining the bend. There's a double line system in effect in the centre of this road, so overtaking or crossing the line other than to pass stationary obstructions or slow moving vehicles such as bicycles would not be permitted. Openings on the left, we're searching up the road to the left there. That one's checked and clear. We've got a warning sign indicating a further junction on the left. Searching up to the left there, that's also checked and clear. As we come along here now, the road's opening out a little bit and then we're losing visibility again, but there's no point in catching up too close to these vehicles in front since a prospect of an overtake is unlikely. The speed at present 55 miles per hour, just maintaining a safe distance from the preceding traffic. We're checking the mirrors, we're not being followed. We've got two warning signs from the bottom up: bend to the left with a junction on the left, double bend, right then left then right. As we come around here again, we're on a double line system. There's the warning sign for the opening on the left. We're just leaving off the accelerator a little bit here, checking into that opening as best as possible. We can see the road deviating to the right. The vehicles in front are on the brakes. We're holding back to a sensible distance and not requiring to use the brakes at all as we come round here. Road surface change not for the good. and we can see a patch there on the left which we just avoided. There's an opening on the right for that building, signed in there, it's checked and clear. One parked vehicle down there. Oncoming traffic in the opposite direction, all settled where it is, not presenting any danger to us. We've got horses in the field on the left. There could possibly be horses on the road some distance ahead. We are in a rural area and people do ride horses on the roads. We've got a warning sign, left double bend, left then right, and the low bridge sign. Double line system in the middle of the road. We can see the lorry going round the right hand bend. Again, we've been on a trailing throttle all the way down the hill. We don't need to brake for the bend and just firm up gently on acceleration to come nicely through this bend under control. The lorry seems to be braking ahead, he's perhaps about to stop. We're checking the mirrors, we're not being followed. We can afford to just keep a safe distance from these vehicles in front. As we come along here now, it's a single carriageway, undivided road. Road surface of Tarmac Macadam, it's still a bit patchy, it's still wet in places, it's not the most optimal road surface. We've now got a slightly more progressive vehicle coming up behind. They'll have to settle to a distance behind us since an overtake's not on. The warning sign indicates an opening on the left. Again, we're searching up to the left there. There's nothing coming out and there's nothing going in. The road is descending down a hill. We're just braking slightly before the bend, off the brakes and back onto the accelerator to bring the vehicle through the bend under control. Checking in that opening on the left, it's checked and clear. Again, off the brakes, there's a warning sign again for a bend. Since it's an illuminated warning sign, we can assume that it's a more severe bend than the others. I've picked up the vehicle trafficating right to come out of the junction on the left. Has he seen us? Yes, he has. He's looking our way. Checking the mirrors, we are still being followed at a safe distance by the other vehicle. The traffic lights are at green. Are they going to stay at green? We're keeping a safe distance out from these parked cars. Checking mirror, near side mirror, moving back towards the better part of the near side, and the lights are indeed still green. We've got one HGV coming the other way, nothing emerging from the road junction left. The openings on the right are checked and clear, and the speed limit's changing to 40. We're checking the mirrors, we're still being followed at a constant distance by the vehicle behind. The two vehicles in front are travelling at a steady speed of approximately 40 miles per hour, so we'll maintain our speed behind, our safe distance behind them for the time being. The road width is restricted. We've got one oncoming vehicle, we've got an opening on the left and a bend to the right. We can see a vehicle emerging from the left. Again, checking the mirrors. Are we being seen by this vehicle? Is he settled? Yes, he's looking our way. He's seen us. We can proceed safely through the junction. One oncoming vehicle trafficating right, and as we come round here now, we're looking ahead, trying to pick up. We've got traffic lights of some description further ahead there. There's a warning sign which we'll read on the approach. There's oncoming traffic. Still hazard lines in the centre of the road. The road surface is patchy and uneven. It's still damp. It's not at all good for braking, steering and tyre adhesion. Warning sign for the traffic lights and the bend to the left. We're looking at this road restriction width here as well, passing safely between the island. It's a pedestrian crossing, checking both sides of the road. There's no pedestrians about. It's safe to proceed as the lights are at green. Railway station down to the right. As we come up this hill now, we're still maintaining a safe distance from these two vehicles in front. We're looking further ahead. There's something else slow further ahead. It's a 4x4, and we can see that the double line system coming into effect further ahead has a solid line nearest to us. Checking the mirrors, we are still being followed at this time. The speed's approximately 45 miles per hour, and we're coming up here. There's a large building on the right with a sign. There'll be an entrance associated with that. It's actually a restaurant. Searching in there, nobody exiting at this time. We've got oncoming traffic, and there's a roundabout. We're turning left. Checking mirror, near side mirror, we're on course towards the better part of the near side. Checking all three mirrors, we're trafficating left for the benefit of the vehicle behind. We're starting to adjust our speed. We're looking for the gap in the traffic at the moment. Just coming onto the brakes. This is an automatic car. It will select the gear by itself. It would be a second gear hazard. The gap's there. The gear is 2, checking all three mirrors, no need for a further signal, no need for the horn warning, and bring it through under gentle acceleration. There's a warning sign indicating cycle crossings ahead. We're searching into the right there. It's checked and clear at this present time, and we're trying to extend our observations further ahead. We're on the A737 leading to the M8. Howwood is 3 miles ahead, and there's a long straight. We're checking the mirror, the offside mirror. There's nothing close behind that's going to affect any chance of an overtake. The gap's there, firming up on acceleration. We're in second gear now and coming up through past this HGV to take advantage of this long straight. Junction right, checked and clear, and as we come through here, checking mirror, near side mirror, returning safely to the near side and coming back to a safe speed behind the van in front. Vehicle in front progressing approximately 50 miles an hour. We're dropping back to 50 here at the moment. We're looking further ahead. We've got a warning sign further ahead. There's an opening on the left, double bend, left then right. There's various oncoming vehicles. There's a cluster of vehicles in front of us as well. They are all travelling at a reasonably sedate speed of about 45 miles per hour again. Traffic coming in the opposite direction, double line system, both lines solid, double bends, again left then right. We're going round a right hand bend, so this is not the first part of it. a cluster of oncoming vehicles. We can see further HGVs. In the far distance we can see the city of Glasgow just below the horizon. In the middle distance we can see electricity pylons crossing the horizon. In the nearer foreground we can see our road after it goes down a dip coming up the other side of the little valley with HGVs, other traffic coming towards us. We've got one HGV fairly close behind now and a whole cluster of other vehicles, some of which are braking. So I'm checking the mirrors, I'm feathering the brakes without applying any great brake effort at the moment, just to give the HGV behind warning that I may in fact be slowing down. He's keeping a safe distance at this time. There's a warning sign indicating a road junction right, and as we go up here there's a double line system in the centre of the road with both lines solid, again to prevent overtaking while there's no visibility further ahead. As we come along here now, we're trying to extend our observations. We've got an entrance to a farm on the right, searching up there, it's checked and clear. We can't really see much beyond this transit van in front of us at the present time, and see buildings on the right. We'll anticipate an entrance for that. Cluster of lampposts, and there's the advanced direction sign indicating there's a junction ahead into the B787 on the right. We come up here, I can see a motorcyclist waiting to emerge from that road junction right. We're checking the mirrors, the HGV is settled at a fairly steady speed behind us. We have dropped now below 40 miles per hour, just the speed of the traffic on the road. We're keeping an eye on this motorcyclist. Has he seen us? He's not. Yes, he's now looking this way, can assume he's seen us. Checking the mirrors, firming up on acceleration and passing safely through the junction. On the A737, it's Johnson 3 miles ahead, and there's hazard lines in the centre of the road. It's a long sweeping left-hand bend, no opportunity for a safe overtake at this time, and in fact there's a hatched area bounded by discontinuous lines in the centre of the road to separate oncoming traffic. There's no great advantage in an overtake here because there's just a constant stream of traffic ahead for quite some distance. There's oncoming traffic as well. Speed has in fact picked back up towards 50 miles per hour. Checking the mirrors, we've got a fair amount of traffic following for some distance behind. The HGV is about 100 metres behind us at the present time. We can see the road extending straight ahead, terminating in a left-hand bend. There's some oncoming traffic and we're just having to maintain the same speed as the other vehicles on the road at this time. The road surface is still damp. It's in good repair, it's tar macadam, it seems to be all of one surface. There's no patches or repair sections in it, so it should be fairly consistent. It's a long sweeping left-hand bend. We've got about a dozen vehicles that we can see as far ahead, extending in front of us in a queue of traffic, all travelling at the same speed. Checking to the mirrors, we can see a similar number of vehicles to the rear, just limited by the extent of our visibility at the present time. There's an HGV travelling slowly, about 400 metres in front of us. He's disappearing round a right-hand bend at the present time. All we can do is maintain a safe distance from this vehicle in front, and we've picked up the oncoming traffic, an HGV followed by a couple of private cars as well. The other HGV is fairly close behind me now, just on my back bumper. He's about less than a car length behind at the present time, which I'm not entirely happy about, but I'm not going to provoke him by braking or doing anything else. He has in fact dropped back, I think, now that he's realised that I'm not going to be pushed into going faster than I consider safe at this time. Road sweeping round a long left-hand bend. There's agricultural land off to either side of the road. There's no apparent sign of any entrances or exits to either side of the road at this time. We can see the continuous stream of preceding traffic ahead. Again, we're just maintaining a safe distance behind the vehicle in front. One HGV fairly close behind, can't see behind beyond him since he's taking up most of the width of my rear vision. We've got an advanced direction signpost of some description up ahead. There's an overhead bridge. There doesn't appear to be anyone on it at the present time. Danger of nefarious individuals dropping debris off bridges is always a possibility to watch out for, but there's nothing at the present time. So we come round here now, we can see that the road's disappearing round a bend, going under another bridge. We've picked up the blue dual carriageway sign just ahead here, and we can see that it's opening out into two lanes. So we're checking the mirror, the offside mirror, and we're just going to follow the right hand lane marking to bring us into the outside lane. As the other vehicles appear to be going into the left hand lane, we're checking the mirrors, firming up on acceleration, and we're bringing the vehicle up to 70 miles per hour. Coming up to 70 now and allowing the car to regain top gear. One vehicle ahead is pulling out ahead of us. We're just going to continue past here. The slower traffic in the near side lane is in fact doing, I guess, about 60 miles per hour. Our speed is 70. We're just not now catching up with some traffic in lane 2 ahead. The van has in fact pulled out behind me as well. Once we get past this Arctic In fact, there are a number of slower moving vehicles ahead. There's a road junction left exiting off to one side, and we can, wherever one goes off, there's always the possibility that one comes on, and we can actually see the line of the ramp coming ahead. We're checking the mirror, the near side mirror. It's safe to return to lane 1. And as we come down here, now again we're trying to extend our observations, we're searching up to the left, we've picked up traffic coming down, check mirror, offside mirror, it's safe to move back out to allow these vehicles to merge easily onto the main carriageway. Once we're past this red car on the left, I'm going to check mirror, near side mirror, picked them up in my near side mirror, safe to return to the near side lane. Extending my observations ahead now again, we've got a couple of overhead bridges which are checked and clear. We've got an advanced direction sign for Linwood, an exit off to the left, half a mile beyond the sign. We're checking the mirrors. There is other traffic coming up in lane 2. We're just maintaining a whisker under 70 miles per hour to maintain a constant distance from the vehicles in front. I'm in not such a great hurry that I need to be overtaking these other vehicles for the sake of 2 miles an hour progress. We're checking the mirrors, the other vehicles are coming through for an overtake now. The road is sweeping round to the left. The line of the lamppost indicates the line of the road, even if you can't see the road itself. There's the 300 metre marker. We're anticipating that some of these vehicles in front may decide to turn off ahead of us yet. The Land Rover's traffic gating at the last moment and exiting ahead now on the A761 Linwood Road. We're checking the mirrors. We do have traffic coming up alongside us in lane 2, and we're just maintaining a safe distance from the vehicle in front. The weather at the moment seems to be quite bright, sunny in the distance. Not anticipating rain on this journey, but there certainly has been rain. We can see the roundabout below us and traffic coming up from the left. There's 2 vehicles coming up alongside. We're just going to wait till these vehicles pass. Once it's there safely past, mirror, offside mirror, quick shoulder check, and out into lane 2 again to allow the other traffic to progress safely past. Speed's presently 60 miles per hour. Vehicle in front is also pulling out into our path, and we're going to remain out till we've passed all the slower moving traffic led by the HGV ahead in lane 1. The road's going in a long sweeping right hand bend. Glasgow Airport's 2 miles ahead. The M8 is further ahead as well. And we are going to be travelling eastbound on the M8 once we get further up here. There's a number of overhead gantries indicating an exit for the M8 westbound and Greenock just ahead. Brake lights coming on ahead, and I know from local knowledge there's a change in the speed limit to 60 miles per hour. We are doing approximately 62, so once I've passed this vehicle on the left, I'll check mirror, near side mirror, alongside the safe gap, moving back over and just adjusting my speed to bring the vehicle down to 60 in compliance with the posted speed limit. There's an opening on the left there, it's an exit. We've got 1 vehicle coming up alongside exceeding the speed limit, and we've picked up this 50 signs ahead, so again we're checking the mirrors, checking the speedometer and just allowing the speed to come down to 50 miles per hour in compliance with the new limit. Number of vehicles have overtaken, one's pulled in ahead of us, other ones are continuing on at higher speed in lane 2. We're following this HGV, which appears to be complying fully with the speed limit at this time, and we can see that Glasgow Airport is situated ahead and down to the left. It's a long sweeping left hand bend. We're about to join the M8. We can see the M8 down below and off at 2 o'clock. We're checking the mirrors. We are being followed. We've got vehicles coming up in lane 2 as well, but we're just going to remain settled where we are at our present speed, since we can maintain progress at the maximum permitted speed on this piece of road. The road's opening out further ahead now. We can see that the M8's going straight ahead up a bridge. We're merging from the left hand lane, and we've picked up another speed limit sign. We can read that one for 40. We're checking the mirrors, we're checking the speedometer. We've got a little bit of distance to go yet. We're starting to gradually adjust our speed. 1 vehicle cutting in front of us here, just allowing him space as our speed drops off by acceleration sense. No requirement to use the brakes, and we're arriving at the speed limit signs at the speed of 40 miles per hour. We're checking the mirrors. There is traffic coming up in lane 2 alongside, doing marginally higher speed than we are. We've got a slip road coming up from the left. I can see traffic coming up there. I'm going to attempt to not arrive at the mouth of the slip road in conflict with any other vehicles. There's 2 vehicles coming up. I'm just checking my speedometer. I'm still doing 40. We're still safely behind these other vehicles, and checking over my left shoulder. There's 1 vehicle coming up further behind, but he's not in conflict with me either. This is a 3-lane motorway. The hard shoulder is restricted because we're passing a flyover here. The speed restriction is 40 miles per hour because of the restricted road width available. We can see the road line indicated by the lamppost sweeping round a long right hand bend and going downhill as we cross over the other side of the bridge. In the far distance we can see smoke emanating from a chimney just below the horizon. In the middle distance we can see the Govan docks with various cranes, etc. In the nearer foreground we can see the buildings of Renfrew on the left and Paisley on the right, a number of high tower blocks. We're coming up to junction 27, there's the 300 metre marker just ahead. The change of speed limit to 60 miles per hour, not far ahead. The vehicle's trailing down the hill, we're actually reaching about 42 at the present time indicated. We're checking the mirror, the offside mirror. We can't really build up acceleration without undertaking the vehicles in lane 2, so we're just going to keep station with these vehicles at the present time. There's nothing turning off ahead of us, and we're looking ahead to the junction going off because there's usually one comes back on as well, anticipating that there might be traffic coming down from the left. The speed has in fact climbed to 50 in keeping with the traffic flow. We're searching into that junction on the left, it's checked and clear, there's nothing coming down there at this time. Traffic on the right, lane 2, there's nothing close behind, so check mirror, offside mirror, quick shoulder check, and a gradual movement out into lane 2. Again, we've got faster traffic coming up in lane 1. The speed's approximately 55 miles per hour. The limit is now 70. I'll wait till these faster moving vehicles have passed me in lane 3, and once there's a suitable gap, we'll maybe build up speed and make progress past these slower vehicles in lane 2. We're checking the mirrors. We're still about to be overtaken. There's a number of vehicles here. Police patrol vehicle in the station on the left at the present time. We've got a whole continuous stream of vehicles behind. Although we're not overtaking anything in lane 1 at the moment, if we don't stay in lane 2, check mirror, offside mirror, there's now a gap. We're moving out progressively, smoothly into lane 2, and now we're firming up on acceleration and bringing it up towards 70 miles per hour. Come up here now, we've got one vehicle ahead. There's a number of slower moving vehicles in lane 2. You can see an overhead gantry indicating an exit ahead. A number of vehicles in lane 1 are trafficating left and going off at the exit, and there's a long gap ahead of the Volkswagen Bora in lane 2, so we're going to check mirror and near side mirror, and once we've picked him up in our near side mirror, keeping regard of the AA van in lane 1, once we're also safely past him, returning to lane 2 for the time being. We've got a slower moving HGV which we're imminently about to pass, and there's another slower moving vehicle ahead of him in lane 1 as well. We're also catching up with traffic in lane 2. There's vehicles coming up the slip on the left here about to join the main carriageway. We'll want to see what they're doing. We've got one vehicle quite some distance behind. Checking mirror, offside mirror, it's clear to move back out safely into lane 3 at the present time. Firming up acceleration as we drop marginally below 70 miles per hour there. As we come through here now, we can see that the M8 is 4 lanes wide at this point, plus a slip road joining from the left. There's an overhead gantry indicating an exit for the Clyde Tunnel a short distance ahead. The road surface is drying up where the traffic's been running over it, but it is still damp in places, so I wouldn't rely on it for heavy braking at this time. As we come down here now, we're past traffic in lane 2. Lane 2 is clear for some distance ahead, although there's an HGV just pulled out. We're watching the taxi and covering the horn. We've got a progressive vehicle coming up in lane 3, so I'm just trailing off the accelerator here to allow these two vehicles which have now appeared in lane 3 to come past. One of them has just suddenly moved into lane 2 behind me, checking the offside mirror, and we're moving safely back out into lane 3 to pass the HGV at this time. As we come round here now, the road's terminating in a left-hand bend. We've got a number of preceding vehicles. Vehicle in lane 3, a vehicle in lane 2 which is going a little bit slower than we are. We're going to continue in lane 3 until we've passed this other vehicle. There is traffic in lane 3 behind us, but it's about 200 metres plus behind at the present time. There's nobody being held up by my presence in this lane. As we come down here, it's still a 70 mile per hour speed limit. There's a gantry ahead indicating the Govan exit off to the left. I do want to get the left-hand lane some distance ahead, so I'm checking the mirror, the near side mirror, watching this vehicle on the left, and just returning to lane 2 in a timely manner. As we come down here, I want to get ahead of this tanker. The speed limit is going to change a short distance ahead. There's a highways vehicle of some sort stopped on the hard shoulder ahead with the amber lights flashing at this time. As I come down here now, the speed limit's changing to 50. We're coming off the throttle. It's not coming down by acceleration sense alone, so I'm having to feather the brakes slightly to bring the speed down to 50 miles per hour. I'm now travelling at 50 miles per hour in lane 2. I do want to get lane 1 some distance ahead. just watching what this lorry's doing now. He's doing marginally less than us. There's vehicles coming on in lane 1 ahead as well, so we'll just keep back from those at the present time. I've still got about a mile till my exit, so I'm checking my progress here. I'm watching this vehicle on the left. He in fact seems to be changing lane to the new lane which is opened up on his left, mirror near side mirror, and it's safe to move over into the lane just left of lane 1. We are being followed. We're maintaining a speed of 50 miles per hour on this road at the present time. There's a slip road coming down from the left, and I intend to take the exit for the M74 southbound, which is a short distance ahead. This lane is the correct lane which leads into the M74, so I'll remain where I am since I'm travelling at the maximum permitted speed for this road at the present time. Checking the mirrors, the vehicle behind is coming through for an undertake in excess of the speed limit, and as we come down here I'll be moving over one lane to the right to join the M74 as it merges on the right hand side. As we come down here now, we've got traffic some distance behind. The speed's still 50 miles per hour. We've got a number of vehicles ahead, but nothing that's concerning us at the present time. There's the merge signs on the left, and we're now coming alongside the M77, which turns into the M74 just ahead. We're checking the mirror, we're checking the offside mirror. There's one vehicle gaining on the 74, so on this occasion I'm trafficating right to let him know that I'm actually moving over one lane to the right, and I'm now on the 74, which is a 50 mile per hour speed restricted road. It's a fairly quiet stretch of motorway, so at this stage I'm engaging cruise control to maintain my speed of 50 miles per hour without further effort from myself. The extra exit for Tradeston off to the left there's one vehicle in the lane to my left, just some distance ahead. I'm wondering whether he's going to remain there or to join my lane. Other traffic has in fact overtaken and is proceeding away at higher speed. I've got a van a safe distance behind. Yes, there's that blue vehicle making a last minute lane change over the hatched area, and as we come round here now we can see that the road is disappearing over a bridge and round to the right. Speed's still 50 miles per hour. We're maintaining our course, we're maintaining our speed. The road surface is very new, it's in a good state of repair. It's slightly damp, it doesn't afford the best grip for emergency braking, but it's reasonably good for steering and tyre adhesion at this time. The road's going uphill. I can see there's another lane joining a slip road coming on from the left. There's a couple of vehicles have just joined some distance ahead. We've got an HGV about to come up for an overtake in lane 2. Checking the mirrors, there's just the one vehicle behind and nothing joining from the left at the present time. As this HGV is coming up here in the right hand lane, checking mirror, near side mirror, I'm returning to lane 1 at the present time where I can continue my same rate of progress. The HGV is a safe distance ahead, although he's still in lane 2 at the present time, and he's now trafficating left and moving back over into lane 1. Had he been waiting to pull in immediately in front of me, I would have given him the courtesy signal to let him know when his trailer was past the front of my car, but not necessary on this occasion. As we come down here now, we've got junction 1A, exit for Polmadie and Rutherglen some distance ahead, signed on the overhead gantry, and the road's disappearing under the bridge and round to the left. There's one pedestrian crossing the bridge ahead, but he's not causing us any concern at the present time. Still a 50 mile per hour speed restriction on this 3-lane stretch of motorway. We've got workers on the left there, but they're well away from the carriageway and not presenting any concern to us. And we've picked up the 300 metre markers and the countdown for the Polmadie exit some distance ahead. Car still on cruise control, still maintaining 50 miles per hour in compliance with the posted speed limit at the present time. We're checking the mirrors. We've got a couple of HGVs coming up in lane 2 some distance behind, but they appear to be doing almost the same speed as we are. We're passing the exit on the left. The van in lane 1 behind seems to be settled quite content where he is as well, and the M74 continues directly ahead. We can see from the line of the lamppost that the road's curving slightly round to the right as it disappears over the hill crest. We've got the city of Glasgow surrounding us on both sides. The road surface is drying out slightly as we progress further, partly because it's later and the sun's drying the road up. We can see traffic joining from the slip road on the left just a few hundred yards ahead. We're searching down that slip road looking for anything that might come up here in conflict with us. There's nothing at the present time. We've got an HGV just coming up some distance behind, but we're still complying with the 50 mile per hour speed limit which is in force at the present time. We can see a few hundred yards ahead that the speed limit is in fact changing to 60, and we're keeping an eye on this HGV in case he decides to overtake us before we're through the change in speed limit. Checking the mirrors, checking the offside mirror. He is actually still settled some safe distance behind, so we're to firm up acceleration to comply with the new speed limit of 60 miles per hour, and he is in fact falling in behind us. Again, we're now about 100 metres ahead of him, and he's settled where he is. Now adjusting the cruise control to maintain the speed of 60. We've got a small van in front of us. We've got a number of other vehicles in lane 2. The van that was following us in lane 1 before the change of speed limit has overtaken the HGV and is also pulling in behind us, maintaining the same speed. We go around here now, we're extending our observations. Again, we can see the horizon in the far distance, we can see the transmitters at Black Hill, Kirk Shots away in the far distance. In the middle distance we can see the surrounding landscape of the city, and the nearer foreground we've got a 300 metre countdown marker indicating another slip road coming on from the left, or one going off. In fact, there's one going off. We've now picked up the overhead gantry. The Rotherglen and Cambuslang exit is just ahead. There's traffic overtaking and proceeding away from us in lane 2, not presenting any difficulty or any danger to us at the present time. We can also see, looking down that slip road, that there's another one coming on from beyond the junction, so we'll anticipate traffic joining the motorway further ahead. As we come down here, the road sweeping round a long left-hand bend, we can see an HGV some distance ahead. There's a number of smaller vehicles further ahead, but we're not catching up with any of these at the present time, and we're just maintaining our speed of 60 miles per hour at the present time. Searching down that road on the left, we're looking for any signs of traffic joining. It's checked and clear at the present time, and we can see another overhead gantry indicating an exit for Tollcross and Cambuslang some distance further ahead. The motorway is disappearing, terminating off in a right-hand bend some half a mile or so ahead. We've got one vehicle coming up the slip some distance behind, and we've got a number of vehicles on the carriageway behind us as well. The one van which seems to be content to follow at the same speed at the present time, and a number of other vehicles coming up in lane 2 at a slightly higher speed. The road's sweeping round this long right-hand bend which we're now coming to. We're about to cross the River Clyde, and we can see some tower blocks off to the left some short distance away. We've picked up the overhead gantry immediately prior to the exit on the left. There's one vehicle taking the exit, another vehicle coming up alongside us. Is he going to cross over? No, he's maintaining course in lane 2 and disappearing away into the distance. And we can see that there's a roundabout down there on that advanced direction signboard, and again there's going to be a road coming up from the other side of the roundabout. We've also picked up the merge sign on the left indicating the presence of this, so we're anticipating the road coming up from the left. We're anticipating that there might be traffic joining from the left, and trying again not to arrive in conflict with that traffic as we come alongside the slip road. Searching down there, there's nothing coming up the slip road. We are being overtaken at the present time by a flatbed truck. We've got another vehicle about to overtake us in lane 2. We're still maintaining speed of 60 miles per hour, but we've read the speed limit signs ahead showing that it's increasing to 70 some short distance ahead. We've got one vehicle following us at a safe distance at the present time in lane 1, nothing else. The other vehicles now starting to build up the speed before crossing the 70 sign. We're checking the mirror, the offside mirror. We're letting him go through before firming up our acceleration, keep pace with him at the present time. There's nothing else behind at all. Checking mirror, offside mirror, and we're moving over. He's still only doing about 60, checking offside mirror again, safe to move out. We're firming up our acceleration now doing 70, selecting 70 on the cruise control, and we're maintaining a speed of 70 miles per hour in lane 3. Once we're safely past the flatbed truck, which we're catching up with quite rapidly, we'll pull back over into lane 2. There are a number of vehicles in lane 1. We're going to be keeping an eye on these in case any of them should decide to change direction. Mirror, near side mirror, it's safe to move back over into lane 2 at this time. One vehicle in fact is pulling out into lane 2 ahead of us. We are gaining very slightly on him at the present time. There's a progressive vehicle coming up in lane 3 behind us, and I anticipate that he will catch up with us fairly shortly. Just cleaning the screen at the present time, and we can see that the A721 exit is some short distance ahead. This vehicle, Audi motor car, is coming up alongside in lane 3. He's going to overtake us very shortly. We've picked up that there are some workers on the side of the carriageway cleaning litter or whatever, and they've got a vehicle with warning beacons parked on the hard shoulder beyond the junction. We're checking the mirrors. We're being followed but quite some distance behind. There's nothing catching up with us at the present time. One vehicle on the left changing, two vehicles in the left changing into our lane. They're obviously maintaining distance on the 74. There's a vehicle parked on the overhead bridge, doesn't seem to be presenting any concern. Checking offside mirror, and we're changing lane to move out into lane 3 to pass these other vehicles that we're now catching up with. The vehicle in front doing the same. There's an HGV moving relatively slowly further ahead in lane 1. we'll be catching up with him shortly. There's a private car some distance behind, not showing any signs of movement at the present time. He's not going to change lanes, so we can continue safely past him. Checking the mirror, we're not being followed, we're not holding anyone up, and once we're past this, we've got a lot of traffic coming down from the M73 joining, so again, I'm not going to move back over too hastily until I see what the traffic situation here is. There's an HGV which is joining from lane 1 at the present time. We're checking the mirror, the near side mirror. Other traffic on the slip is some 100 yards or more behind, so we've moved back to lane 2. We are catching up with this HGV in lane 1, so I'm remaining in lane 2 from the time being until we get safely past the HGV. We're also catching up with the small van in lane 2 who doesn't seem to be picking up speed. We're checking the mirror, the offside mirror, it's clear to the rear, moving out safely to pass this white van. As we come out past the white van, our speed's still constant, 70 miles per hour as per cruise control. Checking mirror, near side mirror, we're safely past the van, we're not in conflict with any other traffic, we're returning to lane 2. There is another slower HGV just some distance ahead. He seems to be doing, I guess, about 65. The vehicle in front is doing 70 miles per hour and keeping pace with us. I'll anticipate he's going to pull back out to overtake the HGV very shortly. Yeah, there he goes, checking the mirrors, checking the offside mirror. We are being followed, but the closest traffic's about 400 or 500 yards behind. It's a good distance away. We're not being encroached on by anyone, and we're not holding anyone up by remaining in lane 2 at the present time. Cleaning the windscreen again as we come through past the HGV. We've got a warning sign on the left indicating that queues are likely, and we can see the exit, the A725, 2/3 of a mile ahead. We're checking the mirror, the near side mirror. We're coming off the cruise control, and we're checking this again to make sure that it's safe to move back into the near side lane. One vehicle's turning off into Bothwell Services, and I intend to exit the motorway just a short distance ahead. I've picked up the HGV coming down the slip. He's going to come out ahead of me, and there's also a car stopped on the hard shoulder. We're checking the offside mirror. We're holding out to the right hand side of our lane. There's no pedestrians about to get out. It appears to be a puncture on the left. The HGV has joined safely ahead, and I intend to exit ahead, so we'll go through the system of car control. Checking the mirror and near side mirror, we're on course in the near side lane. Checking all 3 mirrors, we're trafficating left for the benefit of traffic which is now catching up behind us. The speed's starting to come down, the speed's now down to 50, and we're 100 metres from the slip road. Checking all 3 mirrors, we're about to be overtaken by traffic in lane 2. There's no need for a further signal, there's no need for the horn warning, and we're coming off just on a trailing throttle. We're adopting the right hand lane for the roundabout. I do intend to turn right again. We're checking the mirror, the offside mirror. We're trafficating right for the following traffic coming down the slip road behind me now, bringing the vehicle to a safe halt behind the van stopped in front of me in my lane. The traffic lights have just changed to green. We're about to go. We're just coming off the brake on the trailing throttle now, just firming up gently on acceleration, having regard to the fact that the lights may change at any time. They're still green. Traffic coming from the right has stopped. There's the lights changed, but we're halfway across the junction now, and as we come through here, we're adopting the right hand lane. We're allowing these HGVs plenty of room to progress round the roundabout. There's plenty of room for us in this lane. The Arctic has in fact stopped. We're pulling in behind the van, bringing the vehicle to a halt at a safe distance such that we can still see the wheels of the vehicle in front, applying the handbrake and foot off the foot brake. The vehicle's still in drive, but it'll remain in drive for the short distance, or the short time rather, that the traffic lights remain at red. At this point we can check the instruments. The oil pressure is reading normal, temperature is reading normal, we have sufficient fuel for the journey, and there are no warning lights showing on the instrument panel. The traffic is still progressing down from the left, so the other lights have not yet changed. We'll take the opportunity to clean the windscreen whilst we're stopped, and we're checking the mirrors. Nothing has actually pulled up behind us at this time. Coming down here, we'll see a fire appliance in lane 1, but it doesn't appear to be under any sort of emergency conditions. The lights have changed. Check all 3 mirrors. There's no cyclists coming up between the lanes of traffic, so it's safe to progress smoothly around here. Keeping an eye on this HGV on our left. He seems to be well disciplined for lanes and is remaining safely in his own lane, so we can now firm up acceleration slightly and pull ahead of him. The speed's approximately 30 miles per hour at the present time. This is a traffic light controlled roundabout. There's another set of lights ahead of us. They are at green at the present time. We're remaining a safe distance from the van. Checking mirror, near side mirror, and our lane continues off to the exit on the left. No change of lane, no requirement for a signal. As we come round here now, we are going to take the Hamilton exit. It's the 3rd lane on the right. We're checking mirror, offside mirror, and we're following the curb round to the right into the right hand lane. The van in front doing the same, and there's a number of vehicles quite some distance behind, but they are now following us as well. Searching to the right, the roundabout is checked and clear, the speed's right, the gear's right, there's no need for a signal, there's no need for a horn warning. We've got a vehicle coming up on the left going up to East Kilbride, and we're now proceeding round this roundabout. Traffic waiting in compliance with the give-way lines at the present time, and as we go around here we can see the road progressing round. There's a national speed limit now, and it's not a single carriageway, it's a short length of dual carriageway, national speed limit, and there's the 30 signs. It must be the shortest bit of national speed limit in the country. There's only maybe 200 metres of it, and we're trafficating left for the benefit of the vehicle behind as we come up to the roundabout. We don't really have a good view to the right, but since the HGV is going, nothing can hit us, so we're progressing safely through here and coming into the town of Hamilton. Speed limit's 30 miles per hour, and we're complying with that limit at the present time. So we come up here now, it turns again into a dual carriageway, and I'm going to be turning right a very short distance up the dual carriageway, so I'm going to adopt the right hand lane. 40 mile per hour speed limit coming into effect, checking the mirrors, checking the offside mirror. We're not about to be overtaken. As we pass the speed limit signs, we're firming up on acceleration very gently to bring it up to 40 miles per hour. As we come up here, there's my opening on the right, checking offside mirrors, trafficating right, starting to adjust my speed. The speed's coming down. We're looking for the gap in the traffic. There's a stream of traffic coming down. We're just coming gently onto the brakes at this time. There's a stream of traffic coming down the gaps behind the car, the learner car behind the HGV. We're waiting for him to cross our path. So we come across here now, bringing it through nice and smoothly. We've got another vehicle coming out, so we're trafficating right for their benefit. There's a bunch of school children in doing a visit just now. As we bring it through nice and smoothly, we're arriving in the car park at work. We're now looking for a parking space. We've picked up the parking space on the left. I'm going to reverse into the space, doing most of the steering while I'm still travelling in a forwards direction. Applying handbrake. Gear is reverse, checking all three mirrors, shoulder check as well, and bringing it back using the mirrors to line myself up with the markings of the parking space. Parking nice and squarely between the lines, applying the handbrake, gear is park, switch off.